Ephraim used to go to churches. He would go to mega churches, and he would preach prosperity gospel. And he spoke the language of the church, so everybody loved him. And everybody was investing their life savings with Ephraim. And the thing was that most of these investors were not accredited. They were not all that sophisticated. And Ephraim made because in hindsight you could see where Ephraim was making promises that an expert would say, no, I don't see how you're going to pull that off. I don't see how that's really going to be true. And so what was going on was he was running a Ponzi scheme where effectively, according to the feds, because Ephraim got 19 years in prison. And it made me sad. It made me sad, not because I think Ephraim was innocent or that he's a good guy. It made me sad because I looked at his life and he had the track record of a genius. He was a young millionaire. He was really a hardworking young black man. And I think that he got carried away. I really believe he got carried away. I believe that he, was maybe getting into fake it till you make it mode. I also believe that he didn't understand the gravity of having possession of that many people's money, right? You're 28 years old, 27 years old, and you got $10 million in the bank. It's easy to get caught up in that, in that young person mindset, young person lifestyle. And he was doing a little bit of that. I think his wife was a singer or something, and he was spending all this money on her music video and everything else. And these are just not things that an investment advisor should be doing, because you're supposed to give an image of conservative behavior, that you're protecting people's money. You are a good steward of other people's money. You're aware that their money is not the same as your money. So what was going on with the Ponzi scheme, and this is what happened with Madoff as well, is he was paying people their returns by using money that came from new investors. So he was getting Peter to invest so he could go pay Paul. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be taking that money, investing it in productive assets, reaping benefits, getting a financial return, and then sharing that return with the investors. So Ponzi schemes actually, they're a little bit like maybe musical chairs, where there are enough chairs for 90% of the people playing the game, but you don't have enough chairs for everybody. Right? So Ponzi schemes don't hurt everybody. They just hurt the last sucker that's holding on to the bag when the hot potato erupts. Right? So that's kind of so that's what I would look for. If somebody offers you something that's too good to be true, you should probably run. If they tell you that they can give you amazing returns with no risk at all, that's just not true. If you can't understand what they're invested in, do not do it. Never invest in something that you don't understand. Sit there and say, I need you, before I let you hold my money, I need to understand exactly, what you're doing with my money and how you're making money back. And if I can't understand it, then I'm not letting go of my money, right? So those are some ways you can kind of avoid the Bernie Madoff situations. Let's see here. Greedy Dog says, should I have a range to start off with, like a range from $5 to $20 stock? No, I don't think you should pick a price range. The great thing about those apps is they let you invest for $5, and they give you what are called partial shares, where you can own a piece of a share. So you can actually buy shares in Amazon on I think on Robinhood with just a few bucks. But actually, I'm not sure if you can do it on Amazon. I think Stash will let you do it. Acorns is more. And in the next lecture in the masterclass, I will give you guys kind of a breakdown of the different apps and what makes them different. But I believe with Acorns, it's more broad based. So you really don't even know exactly what you're buying. They just say, well, do you want the conservative portfolio, the moderate portfolio, or do you want the risky portfolio? But they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and I can tell they know what they're doing because of the questions they asked me when I first started investing. People who are pretending to be smart, they say lots of complicated things. They do a lot of yapping, right? People who really know what they're talking about in investing, they tend to ask questions that actually matter, right? So the fact is they ask the questions that actually matter, which let me know that they knew what they were doing. All right, so let's see. How much do these apps charge? Not much. The rate that they charge is very low. It's explained inside the apps, but one of the other reasons that it's good to be an investor now is because it's gotten super cheap to invest. The transactions costs are almost non-existent now. It's really an amazing time to be an investor. Let's see. Would you recommend specific stocks for Black people? Or should we go as you specified earlier? I don't recommend specific stocks. And I think there's one Black-owned company on the stock exchange, and I think Radio One, or maybe they're called Digital One or something. But I own shares in the company, but it hasn't been my best investment. I'll say that, and so I don't know if you should feel particularly obligated to own that stock. But if you want to, sure, go ahead. I like I said, I bought it because I just wanted to have it in my portfolio, but it hasn't really been one of my high flying stocks. I'll say that. Let's see here. John Womack, is Forex considered a way of investing long term, or is it day trading? A lot of people do it as day trading, but it can be long term. It can be long term, but most people do it in a day trading capacity, which is where you're buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling. It's that's fun to do if that's what you want to do, but it'll also drive you crazy. It'll stress you out. So just be clear about that. There are people that have ended up in Gamblers Anonymous from day trading, because if you're just buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, you're pretty much gambling. You're pretty much doing what they do in a casino. And so I'm not a believer in gambling. I think gambling is a great way to lose all your wealth. And so I don't encourage you to look at the stock market as a casino. Tanya Gardner, last question. Do you suggest we start with the apps instead of different brokerages like E-Trade or TD Ameritrade? I like the apps a lot, but I also like TD Ameritrade a lot. I have accounts on all of those. TD Ameritrade is great because they just seem to have a lot more in terms of options and things. I know you can get custodial accounts for children on Stash, just like you can with TD Ameritrade. But TD Ameritrade just kind of has some extra tools in there. They all have apps. So like TD Ameritrade also has an app. I don't know. I would just say just get started, and just try the different ones, and maybe we can even you do like a Google search and compare TD Ameritrade, type TD Ameritrade versus, and then see what Google auto completes, and then compare it, and you can look at the different features and decide how it fits what you want to do. TD Ameritrade though tends to be a little more detailed in terms of the many things they allow you to do, and so that can either be liberating or it can be overwhelming depending on what you're looking for. I tend to think simplicity is good, but if you don't want simplicity, you want complexity, then I say go for it. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and shut us down for today. You will hear from me via email within the next few days. This link that you use to get into the masterclass tonight is the same link you can use to get into next week's masterclass. Those of you who live in Europe, and are on a different time zone. I know it's the middle of the night for you guys right now. So we're going to do a 2 p.m. Q&A session on Tuesdays as well. Everybody's invited, so I will email the information out to everybody. Also, if you log in at drboycemasterclass.com, you will actually, at the top, you'll see the links that'll let you into the different sessions. Okay, so you can go in there and find the link even if you don't see the email, but I'll email it out as well. And so I hope you guys have a good day. This has been a lot of fun, and I look forward to continuously teaching you, and welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. You guys are going to love it. So, and I appreciate you too as well, Candace. Thank you very much, ma'am, for the kind words. All right, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.